Welcome to the Brain Dump with Sandy Boone. Can we talk about overthinking for a second? Because I hear this all the time. I just can't turn my brain off. I keep replaying things. I'm always thinking about what I said, what I should have said, what might happen next. And most people have landed on this conclusion: I'm just an overthinker. Like it's just who they are. But I want to challenge that, because what if it's not actually overthinking? What if your brain isn't doing too much? What if it's trying to do something very specific? When people say they're overthinking, what they're usually describing is replaying conversations, anticipating outcomes, analyzing and reanalyzing decisions, and trying to figure out the right move. And it feels constant, like your brain just won't give you a break. But here's what matters: your brain is not doing this randomly, it's doing it on purpose. Overthinking isn't a flaw, it's a strategy, a really exhausting strategy, but a strategy nonetheless. And once you understand what that strategy is trying to do, you stop fighting yourself and start understanding yourself. Your brain is wired to do one primary thing, and that is to keep you safe. One of the ways it does that is by trying to predict and prevent problems. So when you're replaying a conversation, your brain is asking, did we mess that up? Is there anything we need to fix? When you're overanalyzing a decision, it's asking, what's the safest outcome here? When you're running through every possible scenario, it's trying to make sure that nothing catches you off guard. That's not dysfunction, that's protection, and it's exhausting. This gets even louder if you're someone who cares deeply, wants to get it right, doesn't want to hurt people, or if you're in a role where people rely on you. Because now it's not just about you, it's about, did I handle that well? Did I miss something? Are they okay because of me? And your brain goes, this matters, stay on it. And if you're a therapist, you already know this one hits. So the problem isn't that you're thinking too much. The problem is your brain doesn't feel safe enough to stop. This pattern didn't come out of nowhere. Most of the time, this pattern develops in environments where getting it right really mattered. Mistakes had consequences. People's reactions were completely unpredictable, or you had to read the room to stay okay. So your brain adapted. This is a survival skill. It learned we need to stay ahead of things. We need to monitor closely. We need to think this through before anything goes wrong. And that adaptation was smart. It worked. And it was probably incredibly helpful at some point. Because here's the part that most people don't realize: this pattern gets enforced. Every time you overthink and then avoid a mistake, say the right thing, prevent conflict, feel even a little bit of relief, your brain logs that as, this worked, let's do it again. So now it doubles down, even when it's too much, even when it's unnecessary, and even when nothing is actually wrong anymore. So now you're stuck in this loop. Uncertainty equates to scanning, analyzing, temporary relief, reinforcement. And now your brain's like, we are not turning this off. This is how we stay safe. You are not overthinking, you're over monitoring. Let me show you exactly how this plays out. I was talking with someone recently, very self aware, very thoughtful, very conscientious. She told me, I had a conversation with a friend, and afterward, I couldn't stop thinking about it. She replayed it. What she said, their tone, the pause before they responded. And then her brain went, did I come across wrong? Did I say too much? Should I text and clarify? And nothing actually went wrong. There was no conflict, no obvious issue, but her system didn't know that. Her system was saying, scan this, make sure we didn't mess something up. So she kept going, replaying, analyzing, trying to land on certainty. And here's the trap: she wasn't trying to solve a problem, she was trying to eliminate uncertainty. And your brain hates uncertainty. Overthinking isn't about solving, it's about trying to feel certain. And this is where it really starts to impact your life in relationships, because over monitoring doesn't stay internal, it changes how you show up. It can look like rereading text multiple times, analyzing tone shifts, needing reassurance, replaying conversations afterwards, hesitating to say what you really think, over explaining to control perception, or even shaping yourself to avoid misinterpretation, managing how you're received in real time. And underneath all of that is one core question: am I okay here? And here's the hard truth. When you're over monitoring in relationships, you're not actually in the relationship. You're managing it from your head instead of experiencing it. And that's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because your system doesn't fully trust that it's safe to just be. So telling yourself it's fine, stop thinking about it doesn't land because how often have you been told not to do something and it's all that you can do? This isn't a logic problem, it's a safety problem. And your nervous system responds to experience, not arguments. So, what actually helps? One, stop trying to shut it off. You're not going to win that fight. You are literally wired for this. Name it in real time. My brain is trying to keep me safe right now. Third, interrupt the loop physically. Move your body, change your state. This can look like a walk. This can look like stretching. This can look like just changing position from one room to another. Fourth, lower the perceived stakes. Is this dangerous or is it just uncomfortable? Uncomfortable doesn't kill us, dangerous does. Fifth, let things be unresolved. This is how you retrain your system. Again, this would be wildly uncomfortable, but your system learns everything doesn't have to have a solution. Number six, come back to what's actually happened, not the imagined version that you've created in your head. Look for instances where there's a possibility that your interpretation is wrong. Seven, practice being in the relationship, not managing it. Let yourself fully experience instead of monitor. Show up as you really are, authentically you. You don't have a broken brain. You have a brain that learned to protect you really well. It just hasn't learned yet that it doesn't have to work this hard anymore. So if you've been calling yourself an overthinker, I want you to consider this. Maybe your brain isn't doing too much. Maybe it's been trying to take care of you the only way it knows how. And now that's a well oiled machine. And if you're ready to actually shift this, not just understand it, this is the work that I do. Helping people regulate their nervous system so their brain doesn't have to work overtime to keep them safe. You don't have to keep living in your head. Visit sandyboone.com to learn more. Thanks for being here.